There's just been a lot of drama around the NBA, around Gilbert Arenas, around everybody that's involved in this gambling scandal, right? So right before the news of the gambling scandal came out, Gilbert Arenas been like he been on a lot of other creators, either live streams or videos, platforms, however you may want to call it. Now, we recently seen him with Neon. He was shooting around. They played the 1v1. That was cool. You know what I'm saying? Not my cup of tea, but you know what I'm saying? I guess Neon is growing on everybody else. Now, when it come down to him and Anton, they had a certain sit down, a certain conversation. And he talked about, you know what I'm saying? Anton brought up other, you know what I'm saying, basketball podcasts and how they fail, and Gilbert Arenas being the outlier, and how Gil Arena took off, and this, that, and the third. And we have to give Gilbert Arenas his credit for Gil Arena taking off how it did. But I think that by Gil being good at basketball and what he did for the District of Columbia and the DMV area, you know what I'm saying, growing up as a kid, watching him play, you know what I'm saying, that was our childhood, watching Agent Zero. You feel what I'm saying? I was already gonna, you know what I'm saying, go to the podcast. Everybody that I knew that watched basketball, that was into sports growing up, you know what I'm saying, my friends, and you know what I'm saying, the homies, nigga. You know what I'm saying? They fuck with Gil. We gonna, you know what I'm saying, we gonna rock with Gil and shit. So, you know what I'm saying, we would have our conversations about what happened on the show and this, that, and the third. And every one of us had our own favorite or person that we agree with more, or who we, you know what I'm saying, vibe with. You know what I'm saying? Some points I liked it, Rashad McCants and his takes and shit like that. And then sometimes I would lean towards, you know what I'm saying, Kenyon Martin, you know what I'm saying, being that stern, you know what I'm saying, presence that's on the podcast. A lot of people like Nick Young, you know what I'm saying, his how he be funny and the goofy side, and he never take anything serious. Then you got Brandon Jennings and how he be, you know what I'm saying, he might go off, you know what I'm saying. Brandon Jennings thing on the podcast is like, you know what I'm saying, Mr. B, like when Mr. B get to talking that shit, you feel what I'm saying, as in, you know what I'm saying, talking about him popping that shit off. Everybody has their personality on that podcast, you know, so even to Josiah, you know what I'm saying, this being the moderator and how he does things and shit like that. Like everybody has their part, right? But Anton Daniels, you know what I'm saying, kind of, you know what I'm saying, downplayed everybody else, and Kenyon Martin has something to say about that. But my thing is this, and why I'm making this long ass intro, and people have to recognize this: your niche is a serious thing. Because the reason why people know Low, and the channel is called Low Post, is not because he had a successful channel with the brother Agent. If you don't know, he's an AMP member. Them two had a channel together where they would talk about different topics, and it was very, very successful. You feel what I'm saying? And then he kind of like made his own channel where he talks about, you know what I'm saying, the NBA. He talks nothing but the NBA. He narrowed his niche down so much. Like, he doesn't just talk about sports. He talks about the NBA. Anything NBA. If you want that fan to fan connection, you feel what I'm saying, you can go to his channel. It's not fan to player or fan to ex-player. It's fan to fan. And he knows what he's talking about. He's always up to date on certain things like that. That's one of them channels that you can go to. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why, you know what I'm saying, Gil or other players, you know what I'm saying, might know of him, because his channel and his niche is specific to that. So they're going to show him, and he has a big enough platform in that space. And the reason why Anton Daniels he has 1 million subscribers, but his content is nowhere near the basketball realm. His content is based off of, you know what I'm saying, the dating world, probably real estate, business and shit like that. It has really nothing to do with any type of sports. So that's why they don't know of him, and they know of Low. But we about to hop into this video. I just wanted to get that out the way. It's always room to grow. Just because you have a certain amount of subscribers or followers, there's always somebody that doesn't know you. So just because somebody doesn't know you, don't take it as disrespect. Don't take it as, you know what I'm saying, are they looking down on you? They might genuinely don't know you because you're not in their algorithm. You're not a person that they watch on a daily basis. There are big enough creators that I never knew of that a lot of people know, but because I never went to go look for them or they never popped up on my feed, I wouldn't know of them. You feel what I'm saying? So let's hop into this shit.
On July 30th, 2025, popular YouTuber and former NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas was arrested in Los Angeles in connection with a federal indictment alleging he ran an illegal high-stakes poker gambling business. And the bad thing about it was inside of a home that he was renting. And inside of this illegal poker place was a name, Gil's Arena. And then Gilbert Arenas would somehow find his way onto YouTube. But he wasn't coming onto YouTube to make content. He was actually on YouTube beefing with Kwame Brown.
See, it's partly true because he had a show before Gil Arena. He was on Fubu TV. He had a show on Fubu and he was doing it from the inside of that house, or it might have been the same house and it was just another room. But it was him, some white boy, and they was doing a podcast or whatever. But it was on Fubu TV or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I could have the wrong channel or whatever the case may be.
I didn't know nothing about like webcam, StreamYard. I had to learn all of that because I only came to YouTube because I was beefing with him. So when I came up with the show idea of like ESPN style, because I'm learning as I go. So I had this channel. I know Matt Barnes. They got you know, all the smoke, right? But they're on Showtime, so they have infrastructure.
Now this is actually,
that's another thing that we have to kind of put in mind. A lot of these shows, especially that's on YouTube, podcast / show / they merged into one. They are backed behind different companies, as in It Is What It Is. They're backed by Underdog. Gil Arena is backed by Underdog. All the Smoke is backed by Showtime. I think now Nightcap might be backed by Prize Picks, if I'm not mistaken, or they might not be backed, but they have a partnership. It's just a difference when you start, like, you can tell when a show is backed by something, or like they have a lot of stake within that channel. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what happened with Gil. And I think that when he signed the contract with Underdog, they became 50-50. And because of what he's going through right now, the reason why they changed the name is because they don't want, if anything was to happen to Gil, they don't want the show to go down with him. So you feel what I'm saying? So that now they take the rights to the show, and if anything was to happen to Gil, they can continue on. The show can continue on. You feel what I'm saying? Because they have already invested money within Gilbert Arenas and Gil Arena.
True. I mean, Gilbert Arenas is just on here, like, going back and forth, roasting people. I mean, he's a very, very funny. In fact, he's like hella funny. He's probably the funniest athlete that's on YouTube.
No matter how you look, if you go to the club, you point out 10 bad ones. You use the same line on all 10. Just to be like, hey, you want to fuck? One will say, you know, that was bold. And give you a number.
Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? You can go ahead and you can play solo leveling.
That's the most fucked up advice you can give a youngin'. I ain't even gonna lie. A nigga gave me that type of advice, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you this story. I was working for Shoppers, right? And so it's like a grocery store. So we had this girl in there, right? She was a little older than me. I'm probably like 17, 18. Yeah, like 17, 18. Just graduated from high school type shit. She had a donkey don't stupid. And she used to wear leggings in that bitch every day. Now I was like the guy to go get the carts and shit like that. So, and then a dude that worked in the bakery, he was like, you know what I'm saying? We became cool. So every time I come in there, like I go to the bakery, like around like 10 minutes before it's time for me to go home and shit, try and get some cookies and shit. Them fresh baked junk, cause they start making the cookies for the next day or whatever. So I'm like, shit, bro, when them Jones come out the oven, bro, just let me know, cause I'm gonna come back to that Jones and try to like give me like 2 or 3, you hear me? So one day I'm walking back that Jones, he like, yeah. For some reason, I forgot how it happened. It was like, I think I asked him about her, cause he was working it longer. I was like, man, what's up with Tisha, man? Woo. Like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I had hit one time or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? She, you know what I'm saying? She cool, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Shit, how I got it was I just walked up to her, asked her, can I fuck and shit? And she was going, you know what I'm saying? She went with the shit. I'm like, for real, I'm young as shit though. Young and dumb. And all I see is ass and shit, right? So I'm like, all right, but I'm gonna try my hand. So I walk up to her and I'm like, man, I'm trying to fuck. And she was like, what? Boy, if you don't gone somewhere, man, woo. But she was cool with it. She ain't kirk off. She was cool with it. But it was just like, I was just like, damn, bro. But you can't, look, just because, you know what I'm saying, it might work for you, don't mean it's gonna work for him. You feel what I'm saying? And it's just like, certain females, all they see is money. They don't give a fuck about the nigga. They don't give a fuck about the pedigree of the nigga. They don't give a fuck about, you know what I'm saying, what type of man. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. They just see the money and the opportunity at being lit by being beside this nigga because he might be lit. I'm talking about Neon. Like, do you genuinely like this nigga? Probably not. But you know what I'm saying? Then you got some females who they don't care about that shit. Like, if they don't genuinely like you, they don't care what the fuck you got going on. You know what I'm saying? They just not gonna want to be around you. That's why I said, like, that's some fucked up ass advice to give a nigga and shit. Cause it's like, and you can get hurt by that. A female might punch you in your shit.
But if you're gonna be on YouTube talking trash all day, and if you're Gilbert Arenas, you might as well go ahead and make some money. And that's exactly what he did. Gilbert Arenas, along with some other people, Gil's Arena has a few ex-NBA greats, such as Brandon Jennings, Sean McCants. You'll see Nick Young on there, and many others, but also Kenyon Martin Sr., right? And that's important to know because at a certain point with this podcast, you know, going viral and being very good, it ended up getting bought out. And basically, I believe like Gilbert Arenas sold the podcast for like 50% to a betting company.
Yeah.
And he explains why.
The reason I gave up equity is because...
See, now this is where it falls under the niche of Anton. Not necessarily because it's sports. It falls under Anton because Anton is like a business-minded type of channel type shit. Business-minded and relationship type of channel. So this is where I think Anton he has done a podcast or a sit-down with, I think it was Rashad McCants. If I'm not mistaken, he did do it. So I think Rashad know who he is. And I don't think Rashad was on the pod that day that they brought it up. So I think he did do a sit down with Rashad McCants before. I don't know if anybody else know of who Anton is. You feel what I'm saying?
So I used to do this in the weed. So I started in the weed game, right? I was I was the landlord. What I would do is I will have one of these growers come in, right? They build the infrastructure. They build the system, right? Mm-hmm. They build these elaborate systems. I let them get 2 crops in, and then I kick them out. Now I have the infrastructure, and then I take over the business. That was the same concept here. Let them come in here, build the studio, build all the equipment, do everything that's here.
Trying to learn.
We got 2 years. Once it's over with, I got the infrastructure.
The show was sold to Underdog Fantasy, and what Gilbert Arenas is explaining is, listen, you know, I'm selling it for 50% for now, and, you know, I'm going to let them do all the production and build the business, and then after which, I'll reclaim the show again. Now, he is online with very popular people. He's online with Kwame Brown, an ex-enemy and ex-teammate of his. And then there's Anton Daniels, who is no stranger to controversy himself. And so Anton Daniels can't understand why Gilbert Arenas would actually sell a show that is so profitable and that is so great. And he says this.
Yeah, I don't. I think everybody was kind of shocked when they heard the news about so what's actually going on with Gil Arena. You feel what I'm saying? I don't. Nobody. You want partners. You want a partnership. You know what I'm saying? You want a deal or a brand deal or a partnership or something like that. I'm not selling you any percentage of my company. You might can get some stocks or something. You know what I'm saying? You could buy into the company, but like you're not about to get any type of ownership over something that I, created from the ground up. That's just not happening.
On the live stream, you said that when you got arrested, that's when they took the name from you because your name was no longer good in their eyes when it comes to promoting the product and being aligned with the brand.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure there's something in the contract to where as though if he was to get in legal troubles, then that shit is shifted towards them. It got to be somewhere in that paperwork, bro. It's somewhere in that paperwork to where as though if something happened to what, and you got to. That's what I'm saying. This is a federal case. This is the FBI. The FBI came and got him. The FBI came and got Terry Rozier. The FBI. I don't know if y'all like ever been in trouble before. Like the police coming to get you is one thing, bruh. Because they have to interrogate you. They have to do this, that, and the third, bro. They still trying to gather information. They still have to prove. When the police come and get you, they still have to prove. That's why it's called First 48. They still have to prove. You feel what I'm saying? What they're arresting you for and this, that, and the third, right? With the FBI, they don't have to. They already know. It's the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They already have the evidence. They have. When the FBI come to get you, they have everything. These niggas is about to be taking plea deals. Guarantee these are not street niggas. These are not niggas that's dealing. That's like, I'm going down with the ship. They got reputations to upheld. If they want to go back around their hood, or if they want to be able to walk around and not be fucked with and shit like that, bro. Which is times is different nowadays and shit, because you got rats walking around unscathed. But this is not that, bro. These are ball players, bro. These niggas that went to college, they didn't play in the NBA, bro. They was nowhere near the streets. This is not the same. You feel what I'm saying? This is not the same. It is not to downplay them. It's just like I'm just trying to explain the situation. Like, I think a lot of people are underestimating the FBI. That shit is crazy to me.
My expectation of you is higher. Because I don't look at you. I know you a contributor on the show, but I'm going to just be honest with you. I don't look at you in the same vein that I look at the rest of the niggas that's on the show. Because you the brain, right? You the brain. Without you, none of them motherfuckers exist in my mind.
That's false. And that's why a lot of people don't deserve success. Well, at least success within a group. You can have some people, like, they deserve individual success. But like other people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a team aspect. Gil Arena is not Gil Arena without the rest of the crew, bruh. Because it's sometimes that I don't agree with Gil. And if Gil was the only one on the pod, you know what I'm saying, speaking his truths, then it'd just be like, I'm not about to watch this video. I'm not about to watch this. That's just me though. Like, I like the aspect of Rashad McCann's and the takes that he made, because it be some of his shit come far from left field. Then I like Kenyon Martin, the way his personality is. Like, he a no nonsense type of guy. So it's kind of like sometimes like it's just no, bruh. Like, you can tell when niggas know of something, but they don't really watch. They know of the show because the show popularity, but they don't really like watch. Like, you don't. What I mean by watch, I'm not talking about an episode here and there. It was a point to where, though, like you were logging in. I'm a truck driver, so it's like when you driving your truck, you can put the shit on your radio or whatever the case may be every day, bro. Every day they came on, I was locked in listening to their show. So it's kind of like, bro, like that show doesn't do what it does without the rest of that crew, period.
It's plenty of niggas that start a basketball podcast that ain't popping at all. That shit is trash. Let's just keep it 100.
Woo! Now notice after Anton Daniels, talks about this, Gilbert Arenas is not trying to like disagree with him. He's not saying anything about the people on the show. He's not trying to defend the people on the show. He's just basically saying, listen, yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying, because largely he's indifferent, meaning that he's not coming to the defense of anybody on his show. And this is interesting. And I do understand where Anton Daniels is coming from, because yes, a lot of the basketball podcasts do flop. A lot of YouTube channels and podcasts flop in general, regardless of the person's experience, because just because you're good, at basketball and you are a person that,
See, I think it's a difference, bro. Because you got Low, who he never played basketball. But he has a good YouTube channel about the NBA. AM Hoops, I don't know if he played basketball or not, but he has a great channel about basketball. So it's like, it's not really predicated on if you played or not, because if I feel like if you played, you have a better chance at your channel or your podcast doing what it does. You feel what I'm saying? And if you want engagement, if you want any type of thing, which a lot of sports podcasts or sports channels are starting to do, especially when it comes out to like professional athletes, of what I noticed is they are collaborating, but it's not in a way of, say, okay, for example, when Emmanuel Acho was about to drop his YouTube channel, podcast, whatever he got going on with Speakeasy, he went on Cam Newton's show first. He was a guest on Cam Newton, and then he dropped that he will be starting his own show. That was a way to get some type of exposure out there before he actually dropped, right? Then you had it's a podcast / whatever the case may be with Brandon Jacobs. It's the NFL one. It's a football one. They end up getting into some type of controversy with Michael Irvin, who's popular on YouTube now. And he beats on it. It is what it is. And now their shit kind of took off. So they like, you can go 2 or 3 separate ways of when you first starting out. If you're a professional athlete, because you have resources, other players that have platforms that you can obviously talk to and get in, and they will actually, communicate back type shit. You feel what I'm saying? If a professional athlete wants to get with a creator that wasn't an athlete, 9 times out of 10, they're going to look at your numbers. They're going to look at what type of engagement you get. Are you popular in the space type shit? They're not just going to go to any and everybody. Even if you're the low man and you actually know what you're talking about and you played football and you can actually have a conversation with them, that's not what they care about. That's not what they care about. They care about the numbers, the engagement. Why do you think that Gilbert Arenas is going to a Neon, or he's going like the certain, or even Anton? Like, to me, that really didn't mix for real, because the content is really not the same. You feel what I'm saying? But because of who Anton is right now, and because of his status on YouTube, that okay, yeah, now it makes sense for me to talk to you, because now we can actually merge audiences. You feel what I'm saying? Because it kind of correlates with the business side of the podcast, not really talking about ball. So that's where like I kind of like, you know what I'm saying, this content game is very, very tricky, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the reason why he didn't stand up for his teammates within the podcast is more like, I don't want to burn this relationship. I don't want to burn this bridge. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, say anything too harsh towards him to fuck up our relationship, because he's valuable because of who he is on the platform. That's just how I look at it. I could be wrong though.
Was on the team and on the roster, it doesn't mean that you can understand how to adjust to the day-to-day life of being on YouTube or being a content creator. But Kenyon Martin did not take kindly of those criticisms at all. And he addressed Anton Daniels directly.
Yeah, like, he just, like, y'all chatting and this, that, and the third, and we just kept straight, like, on the call nobodies and shit like that, bro. Like, nah, like, that ain't more than a nobody. He was praising you for being who you are, and in the same breath, gonna be like, yeah, when them other dudes on the shows is nobody, they be nobody without you. Nobody. I think I'm been somebody for a long time now.
Shout out Jesse J.
Not
low.
Whoever that dude.
What you said with Kwame.
Yeah. The dude, I don't know his name, so
See, that's the thing about it. Like, you know, like, this is why, like, this is, and I don't know if it's, I wouldn't call it smart. It's just that he's caught, like, he's not about to, like I said, this is a relationship that is probably new. Cause I think Rashad McCants know who he is, because he did a an episode with Rashad McCants, Anton Daniels. So in this particular moment within the show, he's really like talking down on Anton Daniels because he doesn't really know of him. So this is why when he like the dude, like he trying to figure out who he talking about, he like, well, not low. If it's not low, then you talking about, oh, the other dude, you know his name. You just not trying to throw his name out there for the simple fact that it's being talked down, and then it's going to look like you agreeing with that side. So now you got Gil in the middle of this dilemma, and you know, so he probably not trying to burn this bridge over here. And these are my guys that I started this podcast with. I'm not trying to burn this bridge over here. You feel what I'm saying?
He's a nobody.
Now, this is interesting, man. Like, Kenyon Martin, who obviously is polarizing himself. I mean, I love Kenyon Martin. These guys are bringing experiences to the podcast that we wouldn't know. And again, I understand what Anton Daniels is trying to say, because without you, those other guys are trash, are no talent. But the reality is that people serve purposes on podcasts.
Facts.
Some people are not supposed to be the main person in the podcast. Some people just fill in. Some people are more mic heavy. Some people, you know, just keep the show going. And like I said, you have a main person, but without those other people on the podcast, it's not interactive. It's not fun. People typically bring up different points. But then in this, I noticed one thing. Nobody remembered Anton Daniels' name.
Aunt Edna's is cozy, you thought. But then you found a room with...
Woo! And that's because you got 1 million followers or 1 million subscribers or whatever the case may be. It's just that his channel is not in those people's eyes. Like, he's not, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna probably know low or know a different channel because that's their niche. That's what they going on Instagram, or that's what they going on YouTube to watch. That's what they're gonna put in front of them. You feel what I'm saying? So you can have 1 million followers, but like I said, Anton Daniels, you know what I'm saying, his content is not meant to be in front of people that watch basketball, football, sports, and sports podcasts every day. So that's why they probably don't know his name. You feel what I'm saying?
So Kenyon Martin is saying, who's this guy you're talking to? Gilbert Arenas is even acting like he doesn't know Anton. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, nobody knows Anton. Now, Anton Daniels, to his credit, has over 1 million followers. Again, he works very hard. And at this point, you would think that you should know somebody like that. But what they're trying to act like is that they don't. Because you're trying to act like somebody is a bum who was the National College Player of the Year and an NBA All-Star in their career. Yeah, that is actually crazy. And I get that. But we are talking about different things. Here's what I want to say, though. In the case of what Anton is saying, it's a podcast. A guy like Kenyon Martin ain't looking at it like that. And we do, as YouTubers, have to understand something. What we do on YouTube
is just YouTube.
Is not necessarily what is happening in the real world. And what?
Ooh, he talking heavy now. And it's not to say that Anton Daniels is a scrub or some shit like that. Nah, Anton Daniels is very successful within business and within life and shit like that. But you're just on the opposite spectrum of that algorithm. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if you get what I'm saying, like, his content is not put in front of people that watch sports 24/7. That's just not it. You know what I'm saying? If your girlfriend left you, or you starting to hate girls or some shit, like some big weirdo shit, or you fake red pill type shit, or you want to learn something about business or whatever, then you might, Anton Daniels might be put in front of your face type shit. If it's not that, bro, if you know who you is as a man, and you just on YouTube to watch sports and shit like that, and you want to hear players talk about sports or whatever the case may be, you want to find you a nice podcast. It might be motherfucking it might be fucking Gilbert Arenas. It might be It Is What It Is. It might be motherfucking All the Smoke. It might be motherfucking what's bro name? Jeff Teague shit. It might be motherfucking who does. There's so many of them now. It's like, just find one, somebody that you vibe with, and watch their shit, bro. That's all it is.
Whether we like it or not, there are people very much valuable as an insider, very much valuable to everything else, without views attached. All right, like, I know guys like that all the time. Some of the guys who really make things pop, there are guys who make things pop in the industries that don't have YouTube channels. They don't do anything. And to say that somebody like Kenyon Martin and Brandon Jacobs, those dudes are trash, I mean, it's discounting their experience, because none of us have been in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right? None of us have been in the NBA.
Or the NFL.
And then the platform that Gilbert Arenas has allowed to be there allows them to speak freely. And again, don't get me wrong, guys in the league or in the NBA are talking about things, or who were in the NBA, are talking about things more freely. But you have to be able to be in the NBA to even understand what freely actually means.
Mm-hmm.
For an example, if something comes out about an NBA player, Kenyon Martin, all right? For example, I have to wait until the story drops.
Mm-hmm.
Once the story then drops, I have to go and do the research on the story.
Yeah.
And then I have to really dig in from actually what happened. But I don't have any real insider access, okay, as to what's really happening.
You talking heavy?
You know, I have to research what I can, put the video out. But you have to.
And then you use your common sense to try to connect the dots, shit like that. That's what makes Adam Schefter so special to ESPN, because of his connections to the teams and owners and coaches, players, GMs, and shit like that, because he can get the inside scoop faster than anybody. You feel what I'm saying? And it's direct information. Shams, the guy before him, bruh. Remember, he was selling his phones. He was trying to sell his phones for millions of dollars because of the contacts that were in the phone. You feel what I'm saying? So there's certain people that just, you know what I'm saying, they get the information, or it's better information. It's direct information. It's a lot quicker than everybody else's. You know what I'm saying? It's less of a research that you have to do and shit like that. Like, if we talking about the NBA gambling situation, I had to go on the internet, read article after article after article to try to piece up, because each article gonna have different information. It's all valid, but this article might have a little bit more in there than it has in there, than it has in there. Then I gotta piece it all together. Then I have to be able to speak it in a way that, you know what I'm saying, my audience will understand it, but I also have to speak it in a way that it's authentic to me. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to sound like I'm a robot. I still want to be able to put my little sauce on that shit. You feel me? So I get what bruh's saying.
Guys who have played in the NBA for 15 years. I mean, guys who are still connected. Guys who are doing something. So to call those guys trash is something else. And then for Gilbert Arenas to play Anton like that, as if Anton was a nobody, was also trash. I'm gonna say that, like, you're on the podcast with the dude.
Like, what is he supposed to do? At this point, what is he supposed to do? For real, he wouldn't have been in that situation if he would have just checked the nigga right then and there. Like, hey, bro, nah, bro, they not trash. This is people that I started with. Everybody got their own personality. I need them just as much as they need me. You feel what I'm saying? If he would have checked his ass right then and there, then it wouldn't have been a problem. But the reason why he didn't check his ass right then and there is because that's not a bridge you want to burn just yet, because of who he is on YouTube. And that's a lot of people. That's how a lot of content creators are. Some content creators don't even be liking each other for real. They just collab or they fake the funk because of this person is popular on the platform. And I want to merge my audience with his audience or her audience so I can get more money, I can get more famous, I can have more success, more brand deals, more woo-de-woo-de-woo-de-woo-de-woo. It's the game, bro. Because if it was real shit, like, come on, bro. So I don't think he dissed neither one. I just think that he straddled the fence. This is what happens when you straddle the fence, motherfucker.
Dude, he comes up, you're sitting there talking to the dude online.
Smooth legal cannabis. It's real flowers that gets you a real.
Mood gives you such a good high. It put my whistling uncle out of business.
Food is legit. I wish it wasn't legal.
All of a sudden, you don't know the guy's name anymore, okay? And then when Anton is checking you about the other guys on the podcast, you're not protecting your guys that's on the podcast,
right?
Which would make them feel a certain way,
right?
And what that tells me is Gilbert Arenas is not a solid guy. He's just not. And you have those dudes like that, they show you every time that you can't trust them and they're not loyal. First of all, if I'm on a podcast with somebody and you tell me, oh yeah, that podcast is only lit because you there, the rest of them dudes is trash. Even if I feel like they trash, hold on, bro. Nah, man, the people on my podcast not trash, bro. I mean,
we all bring something different to the table, bro. Shay Dude Jackson, I knew this was the reason why I subscribed, my nigga. Shout out to my African brothers over there.
Thank you for appreciating me, but nah, you're not supposed to talk about people on my podcast because that's not legit.
But you know what happens after he does that? If Anton the bitch ass nigga, I'm not saying he is, if he is, or if he got some type of Kool-Aid in his bloodstream, now he's going to see it as I got a problem with Gilbert Arenas. Like, damn, bro, like you ain't had to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, because it's making it look like Anton don't know what he's talking about. That's why I said, like, sometimes, bro, sometimes you just got to pick a side and like, fuck it, this is where I'm at. Because if you shadow that fence, now you catching strays from both sides and shit.
You supposed to come out and defend your people because they the ones helping you get money every day. Without them people on the podcast every day or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? You might not have that same situation going on. And then to flip around and act like you don't know Anton 5 minutes later, like, oh, what's his name? What's his face?
It's like
in front of Kenyon Martin. That's high siding. That's really dusty. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just foul. You know what I mean? Like, it's foul to be.
It just show that you're not solid. But even you might be solid, it's just the optics of it. The optics of it look like you're not solid because you're straddling the fence. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the thing about it. But he wouldn't have to straddle the fence if he would have just said something, if he would have checked them right then and there. But it's a way you could check somebody without it being like a full-blown check for real. Like you could have been like, nah, bro, like, look, everybody bring a little something to the channel that I need, bro, to the pod that I need. Like, I understand, like, I cooked this shit up. This was my idea, but like, it wouldn't have been as successful as it is if it wasn't for these guys. So I can't really say that like that. You feel what I'm saying? The reason why, you know what I'm saying? The reason why the pod is where it is right now is because of the decisions I made. It had nothing to do with them, but it's still, the pod wouldn't be what it is if without them. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and you got to even throw in Cheryl Swoops because Cheryl Swoops was coming. She comes on during the WNBA season and shit like that, and they had different guests and shit. Like they like the arena will never be Gil Arena, bro. I don't give a fuck. They put Skip Bayless on there, Gerald McCoy on there, Aqib Talib on there, and those my guys on the football side. But it's like the arena will never be Gil Arena. Gil Arena was something that was created like from the way they like their personalities mesh well. To them, every time it was like certain holidays, they'd do something like it was just fun to tune into their shit, bro. It was just fun because like one thing I think that's very successful on YouTube that a lot of people overlook is genuine friendship. And YouTube will push the shit out that shit because now we can get kids to join in as well. When you got a genuine friendship and it's displayed on camera the way it is in Gil Arena, now it becomes something more than just a podcast. Now it becomes something that it's something that you need to watch every day. Cause like, man, I know this shit gonna be funny. Something gonna happen. Somebody gonna say some shit. I know something gonna happen. You could be having a fucked up ass day, watch Gil Arena, and some funny shit happen on that shit, and it's gonna make you laugh, or it's gonna make you even mad because somebody might say some somebody take might be so outrageous that you like, hold the fuck up, bruh. This nigga tripping. Now you in the chat like, nah, bruh, nah. You feel what I'm saying, bro? So
honest, and that's hella fake. That's fake as hell.
Yeah, I feel you.
And if you got people like that that'll throw you under the bus, cause see, a lot of times what cats say to you is one thing, but what they not saying. Like when somebody got an opportunity to come to your back and stand up for you and they don't,
yeah.
Like that's fake.
Yeah.
That's fake. Especially if you go in the back together every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. We talking about this, we go in the back, you my guy. And imagine like, you know, Kenyon Martin, he's a real straight shooter kind of dude. You know what I mean? Imagine he got certain people at his house. You know, Gilbert Arenas know his wife, know his kids. You know, y'all done spent time together doing certain things. And then this is how you acting with somebody you don't even know you? Like,
that's what I'm saying, bro. And that, like, you gotta watch. I'm the type of nigga I watch. I'm an observant type of nigga. If you looking at how Gil been moving lately, he been on this stream. He been with that content creator. He been, you know what I'm saying? Like his last post was he been playing 2K a lot, which is cool. They play the game and shit. But it's like now you're like, he was at one post that he made. He was like, I want to play Cash Nasty. I want to play Flight. He looking at all the top creators within the space and shit. You feel what I'm saying? Because to me personally, I kind of see the game that he's trying to play. It's kind of like I got a feeling like he's trying to build up so much cachet within different niches. So if he decides to start another channel, it'll automatically go up the minute he started because he could do so many other things on that channel because of I got my 2K niggas coming, I got my Gil Arena niggas coming, I got the people that watch me play basketball coming. I got, you know what I'm saying, might be some females that I got coming, like type shit. Like I just watch, and I could be wrong, but like you kind of see the moves that he's been making ever since, you know what I'm saying, he lost the rights to his channel and shit.
Anton is a foreigner to the NBA. I'm a foreigner to the NBA.
Facts.
Like I shouldn't be able to disrespect nobody on your cast. All right, and it should be okay with you. Facts. I should never be able to do that.
And the fact that he think that he could, that has to be spoken about too. It's kind of like, bruh, that's what I'm saying. A lot of niggas get to be feeling themselves and shit. You feel what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, bro, like these are not like street niggas you talking to, Anton. I know, because Anton, like the couple videos that I watched of Anton Daniels, he has this mind frame of like, I wasn't a street nigga, but I came out to be successful. I went the right route. I went to church. I got married. You know what I'm saying? At first you didn't want me. Now you want me. I'm successful in business. I'm successful on social media. This, that, and the third. Well, so it like that doesn't pertain to ball players. Ball players, you gotta go to school. You gotta go to class. You gotta have a certain type of GPA average. You gotta go, you know what I'm saying, to practice. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, it's a certain way you have to be a student athlete. That's why you got so many athletes that you would have thought that would have been in the NBA or the NFL that don't make it, for the fact that they can't be a student athlete. They can be an athlete, but they can't be a student athlete. You feel what I'm saying? And it's just like, these guys are a lot more intelligent than what people think. Now, when it comes to females, that's different. But like, just, you know what I'm saying? Then you got some guys that come from the street that have street smarts, and they got book smart because they was able to navigate the street life while being a student athlete. So like, Anton actually thinking that he could do that also should be talked about as well.
especially somebody that don't know you. I'm on a live stream. It'd have been easy for Gilbert Arenas to be like, Negro, who is you? Don't run your mouth. You are nobody. Like, it'd have been easy for him to do that, and then Anton Daniels wouldn't have had much to say. Like, he wouldn't have had, like, y'all.
But it's gonna burn that bridge though. And that's what I'm saying, but it's gonna burn that bridge from creator to creator. And I don't think that's what Gilbert Arenas was trying to do.
Sorry, it would.
Because if you been paying attention to how he been moving lately, he been trying to connect with different creators on different niches in gaming and sports. Now that's a business or whatever the case may be, or it might be females, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you look at how he's moving, you will see.
Put Anton in a position to be checked, but you didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And again, y'all gotta watch out for dudes like that, because I'm telling you, anytime them be the same dudes that if somebody say something behind your back and they come and say, bruh said it, he did say it. Because the way he acting right now, that passive aggressive type of stuff, he talking about you behind your back. Want to know how your girl know certain things about you, whether it's true or not? Somebody like that dude. I guarantee you. Happens all the time. So guys, what do you think it's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson?
Nah, this was actually a good video. I wouldn't go that far as to say it's like Gilbert. It's one of those dudes. I do think that he did tell though, when it come down to like the gambling shit. But I wouldn't expect him not to. You know what I'm saying? Like he a street nigga or nothing like that. Like ball player. Like, you feel what I'm saying? I don't think that we got any stories or backstories of Gilbert Arenas and his upbringing being like he came from the gutter, or like he came from. You got certain guys that's in the NBA that come from some rough neighborhoods, and they had to navigate that rough neighborhood just to you know what I'm saying, be a student athlete, then to get to the NBA, then to have the ability and the body type to be, you know what I'm saying, NBA or NFL caliber. So, you know what I'm saying, my thing is this, bro. If you got a level of success within your niche, within your industry, and you start talking to other people of that same caliber of person you are from another industry, just show respect, bro. That's all it is. That's why I respect my perspective. That's why I always lead with respect. I always lead with, you know what I'm saying, do the right thing. I always lead with, I'm the type of person, bro, and sometimes it bites me in the ass. Sometimes it's like, I'm gonna let you hang yourself by the rope. Like if I can only treat you with respect and treat you, you know what I'm saying, in a good way. You feel what I'm saying? Once you show me who you are, that is now, I can't, like, that's for you to deal with. That's not for me to deal with, because I could easily be like, I don't want to deal with that. You gotta live with that shit. That shit is on your conscience. Now, if you the type of person where you don't have no conscience, you just out here doing fucked up shit and you just going on about your life, that's for you and God to deal with, bro. But like, that's just me though. Cause long as you don't put your hands on me, long as shit don't get physical, shit like that, then I'm cool. I know where you stand. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And yeah, man, like, men gonna be men. That's all I can say. Men gonna be men.